Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to Sportsology. I am your host, Ryan Kostrowski. Hope everybody's had a good last few days. I've been off for the weekend, then was a little busy yesterday, so I couldn't put anything out. If you're new to the show, Sportsology is simply just a mix of me getting to talk about my two areas of expertise. I do technology advising for a company called Enterprise Systems Group all day long, and then at night I dabble, would be a polite way of putting it, within the realm of daily fantasy sports. So I would consider myself an expert on both. If you have questions about either, feel free to send me an email. I'd be more than happy to talk to you or give my opinions on either of those two areas. Just let me know what you're interested in, and I'd be more than happy to talk about it. We will start with technology today. And the first thing, or what I want to talk about today, is putting in a digital signage solution, or some of the benefits or advantages of putting in a digital signage solution into your business. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, check out some of my tweets that I've had. I took some screenshots of how we use digital signage here at ESG. It can be used in a multitude of different ways, but specifically that's how we use it here. It could be a nice real life scenario for you. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you'll find I put my profile down there. You can just quickly give me a quick follow and you can check those out. But what I like about digital signage, I think it's a great way to improve the look of your office, kind of right, especially in the entryway or the lobby, right when people walk in. Start with something simple, real first. Digital signage is not very expensive. I've given people solutions with price tags attached to them, and it could be as simple as a few $1,000s. If you want to do more with it, it could be a little bit more expensive, but it's not something that's going to cost you a lot of money. A few $1,000s, while for an individual that might mean a lot, for a business, it's not a huge investment or anything like that. So you can put it in relatively cheaply, which is always nice. What I like about it is someone who has walked into thousands of lobbies in their lifetime. Being a career salesperson, you go out and you walk into lobbies and you just walk into businesses looking to talk to the right people. So you just kind of get a feel of walking into different areas, and the impression that you get, or at least the impression that I get, when I walk into a business and I see a nice digital signage display, whether they have weather on there, product info, or anything about the company, is wow, they really took the time to spruce up the lobby and make it nice. Now, from an outsider, from a potential customer perspective, it just adds some artificial, just almost subconscious value to that business. I just have a higher opinion of them, and that's just my opinion. But I'm pretty confident other people would share in that opinion. Now, for the internal employees, they have it's another thing. It's a little subtle, subconscious confidence in their employer that they have taken the time to make the company look nice. Just it's something small and it's something subtle, but it can make a difference. Or to potential clients that might walk into the building. Now, I work with business owners all the time, and they're usually very prideful group of folks that want to, take their baby, which is their business, and make it look a little bit nicer. And you can do that with a digital signage solution. And like I say, it's not going to cost you a lot of money, but can add a lot of, like I said, subtle impressions to what you have and what you put in the lobby. The lobby is always one of the more underappreciated areas of a business. I've often wondered when I walk into businesses and the first person there I see doesn't really do a very good job of greeting you. That can maybe, if you put some more time and effort into making that a more highly compensated employee, that first impression is huge. So digital signage is where I really see that being one of the large benefits. Okay. Now that I've rambled on about that for a little bit, I am going to go through what I have as kind of a working DraftKings MLB lineup for right now. This is first impressions. I don't have any starting lineups or anything like that. I haven't even written anything down, but this is kind of me going through and doing my initial rundown. I usually go through these the night before and then kind of touch it up throughout the day when I have 5 minutes. Lastly, then I spend my lunch period and when starting lineups come out, really completing it. So starting at the pitching spots, I'm looking at, I'll start with Jake Arrieta. Why am I going with Jake Arrieta? He's not insanely expensive. He's kind of the best pitcher in the game over the last 2/3 of the season, along with Clayton Kershaw. Pitching has been tough this year. It has been really erratic. So I'm going to pay for a guy that I feel like I know can get me 20 points. Arrieta has been a little off a few times this year. He's got 4 walks in back-to-back games, but I still trust him to get the job done. He strikes out guys. He's probably going to have a big strikeout game coming up here. He's had a lot of 6s so far this year. It goes to a point of trust right now. Pitching has been tough, so I want to take a guy I trust. Next up, who's actually been phenomenal this year, especially with this start against the Twins, has been Tanner Roark. He's got 5 starts this year. He's got 2 bad ones and 3 good ones. Well, the 2 bad ones came against Miami, which is going to be a rival being in the same division. playing Miami tonight. He's going up against a struggling Kansas City team, so I feel pretty good about putting him in there. He's only $6,900, so that leaves you with a lot of cap flexibility. So I've watched him pitch lately, and it looks really good. His two-seam fastball is very Maddox-like with increased velocity. So is that going to keep up? I can't say for sure, but he has looked really dominant his last couple starts. So I'll check out Tanner Roark. David Ross is my catcher for tonight. He's got some decent career numbers off knees, not a ton of matchups, but he's been hitting the ball pretty well for a high octane Cubs offense with Montero out. And he's cheap, 2,400, so that'll give me that cap flexibility to go with guys like Arrieta, and I got a few studs in my offense right now. All right, first base, Mr. Steroids himself, Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez has really turned it around over the last week or so. If you just go back and look at his stats, he's homered in 3 of 4. He's got multi-hits in 2 of those games, and he's got a matchup tonight against Chris Tillman, which he has absolutely taken advantage of in the past. He has hit Tillman very well and for lots of power. And while Tillman's had some decent starts this year, he's not an elite pitcher that you have to be terrified of. All right, second base, DJ LeMahieu is only $3,000. He gives you a nice opportunity for some speed, even a little power. The game's in San Diego, so the power is probably not going to happen, but he's only $3K, and he's got good career lifetime numbers off of Andrew Cashner. Third base, I paid up for the elite play at third base, which is Josh Donaldson. I almost feel like Donaldson homers every other game, so he's always somebody that's going to be on your radar. He's got a good pitching matchup tonight. The price is a little up there, but I don't mind paying up for him today because I found a few ways I can pay down for some people. At shortstop specifically, Danny Santana, 2 for 6 lifetime off Colin McHugh, I believe, which was what the numbers were. But again, I talked about this yesterday. He's a leadoff guy playing in a position that isn't exactly loaded with studs most nights that you can get for only $2,300. Love him in a cash game for that reason is even though I believe he's got 0 points 2 games in a row, he still gives you in a pretty good position to succeed. Moving along to outfield, I doubled up on studs today with Mike Trout and got Giancarlo Stanton. Both guys are pretty hot right now. Stanton had a little bit of a rough Sunday, but he's been homering almost every game before that. He's got a good matchup tonight with Corbin. Trout and every Angel is legitimately in play today. Our Brewers are calling up a not very good pitcher. He hasn't pitched well in the minors. He's simply just in there to eat up some innings tonight. Hopefully he can get through 5 for the Brewers' sake, but I wouldn't bet on that. I think Trout's a must-play in your cash games tonight, and I like him all the way around, and I like every Angel a little bit tonight. And then I wrapped it up with Nomar Mazara for $3,400. I like him against right-handed hitters. I don't love him. He did homer last night, but he seems to lack huge night potential. So I do think you could also check out M.A. Taylor. Kevin Pillar is somebody that could possibly be taken a look at. So there's other guys you could look at in that price range, but it was my first kind of go-to to go check him out. I think he makes for a good play. Otherwise, you got other guys you can definitely check out. So that's, Adubel Herrera was the other guy I thought about putting in for that amount of money. So that's what we got going on today, guys. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.